Alrighty. I just realized how that corner is bothering me. Hi guys. Hi. I feel like it's been a while since I've done these live videos, but this one is an important one, right? I didn't just like put out a PSA for nothing. It really is something. For those of you that follow me on my YouTube channel, you will remember that sometime last year I had announced that I was working on something new, and it was called the Millennial Career Series. Now, due to some technical difficulties, that did not proceed as intended, but the feedback I got was incredible. And I just thought to myself that because of that, I can't stop, and I need to find a way to continue with my vision. So in order to continue with my vision today, I'm going to be jumping on with someone that I believe you guys need to know. Now, this person is actually someone I grew up with, and I've known him for as long as I've known him. He has loved food as much as I have, and has loved cooking as much as I have. And I just feel like he has an interesting story to share. His career is actually moving in a really interesting direction, which is why I want him on this live with me. I want him with this live with me, for him to just share his career story with us. So, whoever is down to get inspired can get inspired. Hey, Wena.
Hey, babe.
Ha! How is my favorite chef?
I'm alive.
the only chef that considers the fact that Kiva vegan, I appreciate you, hey?
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you like 10 times more just for that.
For
that. You bake like no one else just for that.
I should bake for you. I can try some vegan cupcakes.
I mean, okay, listen.
Yes.
Do me a favor and kind of like give your details. Introduce yourself. Who is Chef Sylvester?
What a difficult one. Well, Chef Sylvester ke abuti a dilemo di mahareng. Exile dilemo di mahareng ha ke so kwale 30. So ntse ke le mahareng. So basically an upcoming chef who recently graduated from Capsicum Culinary Studios, Cape Town, with diploma in patisserie and diploma in food preparation and cooking, who's trying to make a name and a brand for himself in the Mountain Kingdom after coming back home. COVID happened. So trying to do some few things and trying to get into the industry and to know people and to grow more. Yes.
Okay. So before we get into the impact your COVID did to your career, which I think is a really big deal, what I would like to know is, okay, so just to give a bit of a background to everyone who's just jumping on this, who might not know us, we've known each other since our teens.
Yes.
We were like 14, 15, around there. So we've known each other for a lot of years. And for as long as I've known you, you've always been someone who loves good food.
Exactly. Like, I grew up in a family that cooks. Like, my grandmother would cook the hell out of her kitchen. And then my mom also is a nutritionist. So all the time when she tries new things, I would have to try and learn some few basics and get to know what what to do in the
What
kitchen.
one?
Yes.
So this is like one of those bloodline things where
Yes.
I
No. So right on the path, coming to this culinary world, like it's every parent's dream. Like, no, you need to be what? And then like black parents in general, like black parents.
Yep.
But about it, no, you need to do engineering, you need to do to be a doctor,
be
you need
a
to
doctor, be a lawyer.
exactly. So along my journey, like I studied civil engineering just to make my parents happy. But along the way, I was just like, I can't do this. I'm not happy.
It
Like,
wasn't you.
it wasn't me. And then my parents were like, you know how what go how much idea like hoja wadula high why inahan. And then that whole year kadula high go ka inahan ka ba jwetsa ka re I want to go to a culinary school. At the end of the day, ba qetelletse ba dumetse for me to be there. So that's where I ended up being in the culinary world.
Okay. So I want to know from you, like, what was the selection process? How to pursue your culinary career? Like, did you know, well, these are like my top 3? If I can get into the what Institute of Cooking, or like, how did you end up going there?
In Italy, like the only culinary school that I knew back then was International Hotel School, which is one of the big brands in South Africa. And then one day, Kishebelezi TV, and then Buddy Velestro from The Cake Boss was in partnership with Capsicum Culinary Studios. And then I was just like, I want to go here. Out of nowhere. And then I went Googling everything. So only to find there are 6 campuses around South Africa. And then I was just like, I'm going to Cape Town. And then my mom was like, why Cape Town? And I was like, and then I was just like, and then that's when I was just like, let me go to Cape Town. If you want best education, the Western Cape will provide that for you. So that's when I ended up going to Cape Town to study there.
Yes. All right. So here comes this, aspiring chef, Cape Town. How's the lifestyle? How's the costs? What's like the difference between
Exactly.
How was that leap in lifestyle change for you?
Adapting is one hell of a thing.
Yeah, that's very true.
So lifestyle is expensive that side. But you need like health-wise, food, accommodation. It's expensive because it's one of the top tourist attractions. Yeah. So everything gets expensive. But it was one of the most enjoyable years of my life. Like, it was the best.
Your Instagram made it very clear.
So in Elintena hore o tla tlwaela ho phela o ithute dintho tse ding, but cost of living it's quite expensive, but everything you want it's there. Because when you get back home you're just like this is not for me, Ke tlile Lesotho ke just take se butsueng like se seng se sa heme like So when I get there people introduce me like say it's about medium rare please. So ke sa re, well done. So
with your bougie self.
yes, so ke kopa se se pinky nyana ka hare. But I ended up adapting and learning new things and growing when I was that side. Right. Really can't complain, but home will always be home.
Yeah.
Because when you're home, although it gets about okay, nkeke ka fumana red wine vinegar, I need to know hore why amuela sebedisa ntho e teng. So that's one thing that made life difficult, but hey, it ended up being normal.
Okay. So I love the fact that you're saying you are, adapting is like a way of life. It's something that you really had to learn how to Cape Town. Now, the way we cook at home is the way we cook at home. Like, we throw it down.
Yes.
What was like the most exciting thing cooking in a professional kitchen?
Life is hell.
Gordon Ramsay hell or like Top Chef hell?
People think like what Gordon Ramsay gives, it's actually what's really happening in real kitchens. We use top quality ingredients. Like swearing in the kitchen is just a normal, it's
a thing.
Yes. So like I remember one time when I was really in industry already, like when working in the establishment, I remember this day, this lady orders scrambled eggs. I couldn't cook scrambled eggs because I was tired.
I didn't understand. Who fetched
Mahi, yes. No, mahi handle. Jwalo ka mahi like normal scrambled eggs. Ene ke hotseng e ngwane mong le mong a holang a e ruta habo. But that day I couldn't. The head chef threw me with the eggs. He threw eggs at me.
I don't understand. Like,
hey, how would the customer is not happy? And you can't break down. You can't break down. You can't break down in front of them. And then I just walked into the fridge, a walk-in fridge, and then I cried my hell out. Because that's how life is. Like, kibo pilobo bori kgethelang yes. So, but it's a learning curve, like, because we are on our feet for long hours, 12 hours, 16 hours. So you can just imagine how drained you get. And then tomorrow morning, you start work at 6 a.m. You go home 12 midnight, 6 a.m. you have to be at work again. So you can just imagine how difficult it is. Yeah.
I think you just gave me such an appreciation. I mean, I have an appreciation for chefs, period. Like, but understanding Jorge Ramsay is genuinely giving us a glimpse into reality awakening is really something. So TK here is commenting that it's quite incredible because as a customer we hardly ever think about what happens behind
the scenes. Yes, because the kitchens are closed. You don't know what's happening behind. What you see is just, oh my God, my plate is beautiful, but you don't know the sweat of what's happening behind closed doors. But it's something. So like every chance you get, appreciate a chef. Whenever you see them, just give them a hug, man. Those people are working.
And call them and be like, "Babe, that was awesome."
Yeah, because they work hard tirelessly.
Yeah.
But it's something that,
Okay, so I found it quite interesting that you were talking about just that relationship, how the screaming happens. Now, I want to know, it's one thing to be a Mosotho. It's another thing to be a black person. Actually, no, there isn't quite a difference because at the end of the day,
You're black.
but at any point, did you experience any form of like racism, negativity in the kitchen because of where you came from, being a Mosotho or just being a black man?
Sorry about that. Well, I never encountered such, but you know, how long wana Mosotho, like how long motho kapa pause. So how wakua, and then moto just tells you you're a cunt. You're just like a cunt. Like you understand. But you ended up, okay, but in some kitchens, there are people who get racism or anything. Although I worked, like Cape Town has that racism of itself, you know?
Yeah.
But I never encountered any. Like for these years that I've been in Cape Town, I've never encountered any. So I can say it will depend on where you are and what kind of environment you're in, but I've never. Yeah.
That's soothing to know. That's soothing to know. So someone just TK. TK just dropped us another question. Orena, how do you manage to stay calm in these situations? I know you're like probably one of the most bubbly people I know.
But there's a point when you lose it, when you just go like fuck off. I just don't care what kokonje. But you still need to be calm, because nothing will happen. You know, anger doesn't take us anywhere. But ntse re hloka ho ba more moderate, like so that we can be in a normal, calm environment. So I think I answered the question.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. All right, so now moving on. You complete your qualifications in Cape Town and you decide to come back home. The pandemic. What was like the initial Cape Town plan? If you don't mind sharing, Letty.
My plan was not to come back.
It's no one's plan to come back.
Well, I worked for 2 big establishments in South Africa, if I can mention them. The first job that I scored was at Investec. I worked for Investec. So cooking for the staff and everything. Yeah. And then that's when I was doing my food preparation and cooking. And then for when I was studying patisserie, I worked for the Taj Hotel, like the hotel, like, yes, the Taj. So after I left the Taj offered me a job position, you know? And then, okay, cool. I remember it was in December 2019.
Yeah.
That's when they gave me an offer. Then I was just like, okay, let me just go home and then come back. And then January came, February came, and then March, I left for Cape Town to go fix my job offer things, like to get able to start to work. Yeah. A week while I was in Cape Town, Cyril Ramaphosa declared a total shutdown. And then I'm just like, I have to go back home. There's nothing left for me here, because the hospitality industry died with COVID.
Yep.
So you can imagine when you get there, and then you're just like, the hotel people are like, I'm sorry, but there's nothing we can do. While I was home, the people that I was working with the same year got retrenched. And then I was like, this is what was going to happen to me at the end of the day. So, and then I came home Cool. And then while I was home also that year with COVID, I got an internship to go and work for the Kalahari Resort in the United States. And then I couldn't go because of COVID. Because I had to pay a certain amount for them to prepare everything for me. And then I consulted my family, and then my family was like, we do have that amount of money, but we can't loan you that money because we don't know what's to happen with COVID. And I was just like, there was a point when I felt like, Mudimu hangati, you know? Like, what bophelo baka, is this how is it supposed to be?
Yeah.
So every time when because every time when something happens, you know? Like when that door is opening, the devil goes like, Uya, pimta, so yapi. And that's how, and then I was just like, you know, if these things are not meant to happen, they're not meant to happen. Because I was just like, cases went high in the US. And my parents were like, you're not going. But I'll go to like something will happen. With that happening, that's when I started something, the Vestas Delights. So something good came out of the COVID. An unfortunate situation. So that's how COVID affected me. Like, I almost lost my mind, but here I am today, and I have a new baby, so I have to take care of. Thanks to COVID.
The entrepreneur in you was awakened.
Yes, but if anything can happen, like, we all have those careers to follow, but if anything comes that's lucrative, that can happen, I think I'll just hop on the ship and see what happens.
I do my
yatamai.
So I think if it happens.
Yes, but then that's how it is till today.
Yes.
All
right. So last year I had the pleasure of actually attending one of your legendary long table shindigs.
Yes.
Okay. And for anyone who hasn't seen that, as soon as we're done with this live, I will also share a link to the video where I got to brunch with a few of our mutual friends, Lee Sylvester. Listen, this idea, I feel like a lot of people have made dining events, but you definitely brought something different to the table. Can you please just like explain the idea behind your concept, and then after that we'll dive into the food?
Well, Lesotho, ntho e re tsebang ke rice, stamp, mokopu. So I call, visit me, I'm having a buffet. And then you just get those kind of meals. Yeah. So when I arrived home, I was just like, let me try to bring something different. I think there are people who have done it before me, but I also want to go that way or in a different way. Because in Lesotho, we hardly find places where you can go for food and wine pairing, just wake up in the morning, go for brunch. Well, at least that's what white people made, so that we can have wine in the morning, so that it doesn't look bad. So that's why they made brunch. Yeah, so that's why they made brunch, for us to have alcohol in the morning. We should try to bring something different cuisines, try to cater for other people. For instance, like you. So let's try to bring something different, introduce wine pairing, food and wine pairing, at least try to adapt. It's ka ha ke re tlo ho dijong e bo ra 900 nkabe ke rekile phofu ya papa ya selemo kaofela. Exactly. So let's try to change ways of dining and see where we can go as the country. Yeah.
So just to quickly remind us, how many of these events have you had so far?
Well, for last year, before, I think in March or April, I had my first dining experience, which was well, like it was proper. Everything happened.
It's the one everyone talks about.
Because I got sponsored like big brands. So it was just like, you know, when you're trying something and then you're just like, yeah, I don't know how the market will go. But it was a successful event because normally with my events, I cater 30 to 50 people maximum. So for now, like I had two. The first one, which was the dining experience, which was a 3-course meal with wine pairing. And then we had the spring brunch, which you were part of, which had wine and sparkling wine and big brands also.
And vegan food.
Yes, and vegan. Because we need to, that's where it comes, where I'm like, we need to cater for different people. Vegan, vegetarian. So try to meet them halfway. At least they should enjoy with other people, other than when I always have meat. So try something like, for instance, maybe I should have had a vegan worry event to cater for you guys.
I feel like it probably would have been me and like my significant other who attend. But when I know but like I hear you, and I have to say, when I was at the brunch,
yes,
you got such amazing reviews for the first event. People loved everything, the food, the decor, the ambiance. And I think even at the brunch, it was such a big part of it. It was elegant, it was sexy. And I think my favorite thing out of all things, and like the food was bomb, the conversation, the people, the donut wall. I did not know I had the capacity to eat 5 donuts. Can we get the pedicure, handbagging? Shameless.
Yes, that's what we have.
Like, you made those. The incredible icing.
You know, most of the time, you know, when you're a chef, making your own meals, it's quite cheaper than buying. Because for my first event, well, I bought few things, but there are some things like time, like the time spent to prepare for food, it's quite long, you know. The time spent for instance, like, you know, when I'm making my ice cream from scratch, I have to take some time like to prepare for it. Because most of the things that you had at the brunch, they were handmade, like everything. So
and
I
those,
normally
like deviled eggs and whatnot.
Deviled eggs, chicken and waffle. So it's something that we normally like. We tend to turn a blind eye when it comes to them. So at least let's try something and then see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah.
All right. So we're about to wrap up, but I need you to complete the following sentences for me. Okay. Breakfast is, what is breakfast to you?
Eat your breakfast. That's what I can say. Eat your breakfast. Breakfast is important.
Okay.
Well, breakfast is a basic meal to start the day with. Never miss your breakfast.
Never miss your breakfast.
Yes.
Agreed. All right. Number 2. The best potato, the secret to a good potato salad is?
parsley.
Don't reveal all your secrets.
No, let me just say peppers.
Peppers.
Yes.
Okay, kitty peppercorn, kitty the whole
Peppers.
rainbow. You're just saying peppers.
Yes.
All right. The thing I don't like cooking the most is
Nothing.
nothing. Okay.
I want to. I try by all means to try new things all the time. That's why I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't enjoy cooking anything because, for instance, today I can try a recipe and then yeah.
Okay. Cool. Oxtail or lamb chops?
Oxtail.
You really do love like hearty, good food. All right. Red wine or white wine?
Red wine.
Red wine.
Yes.
All right. All right. So before I let you go, can I just like have like some final words? Do you have a page on Facebook people can follow if they want to hear about your events? What's going on?
Everyone can just follow me at Sylvester Nthabe. That's where they'll get everything. That's my page that I'm using for everything. And there's something that I'm cooking, so they should stay tuned.
Listen, if I do not get a first look, first taste,
So
I don't make a practice I taste the nama. Like it was just some money.
I'll cater for you. So don't worry.
Yeah.
So there's something that I'm cooking at the moment. Well, just a hint, I'll be having the Last Supper.
Oh.
Well, I'll just say that. More details to follow.
More details to follow.
Yes. So it's just Vestas Delights presents the Last Supper. So stay tuned and see what's in the Last Supper. It might be bread and fermented grapes.
Listen, whatever it is, we are going to be there. It will be a definite vlog on my end.
So that's it for now.
That's it. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. Spur of the moment. Chef.
No, how about Nthabe? You know the people that makes the things that make the food to be done.
Listen. Without a doubt, thank you so much. To anyone watching this live, please go ahead and follow Sylvester. He makes incredible and most importantly, inclusive food. And I think he has a pretty incredible story about his career. If you guys still watch this after we post it, says live and you have any questions, make sure you drop them down below. I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my love. Love you lots.
You're the best.
Love you.
Eat your food again. Love you.
I'll prepare something for you. Don't worry.
You better.
In the next few weeks, I'll send a package. Yes.
Stop alone.
No, that's a promise.
Good.
Bye, love.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mwah.
Woo, woo.